fast forward a little bit to you actually getting into it. What was the process like? How did you find yourself tattooing? Was it a traditional style, what we would call an apprenticeship these days, or was it kind of just
Uh,
winging it?
no, back then, again, it was so tough just there were secrets back then. There was no internet. There was no, all the answers were held by tattoo artists. So if you wanted anything answered, you had to get close to tattooers. And so back then, most people would start their apprenticeship by sitting in a chair and getting tattooed. As you were getting your arms tattooed, you're watching every move and you're asking questions, most of the time not answered. Now, nobody wanted their backs tattooed because you couldn't see. Oh,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
after a couple of years, I was going to Richmond and up to DC for tattoos. And I mean, they just weren't answering my questions. So I spent 2 years of just watching, getting tattooed. By then I had full arm sleeves, which, in 1972 to 74 was, it was pretty unique to have,
Mhm.
you know, that type of tattooing. And
Yeah.
then I got lucky. A guy moved into town that was a tattoo artist out of Albany. And since I was connected in this town, I was able to start funneling people to him. And eventually he turned me on to Huck Spalding. Called up. I used to work up there with Jay and Tommy Spalding. So he made that call and got me connected with Huck. And I ended up with my starter kit in 1974.
Oh, wow.
Well, actually, it was 76. 74 to 76, I was with this guy, Hal. And kind of now I'm getting the answers, the secrets were unfolded.
Right.
And yeah, 1976 is when I printed my first business card.
Huh. That's something.
Yeah.
That's funny. I started exactly 20 years later in 1996, and I started with a Huck Spalding. Actually, my first machine was from National Supply, but I had the A to Z book, and I got my kind of start of what to do through the Spalding Rogers catalog, and then but ended up buying from like I said, from National.
Yeah. Well, Spalding, I mean, back then, 90% of the world was tattooing from Spalding. They wouldn't want to admit it back then, but, it was just, that's where you went. And to get to National, I always liked their model. You had to be brought into National. You just didn't call up in order to pound a peacock dream. You had to know somebody had to put you through, and, they had to verify you. So if you got into National, somebody brought you in somehow along the
Right.
way. Yeah.